Hello everybody and welcome to Front Row Racing on this Wednesday evening for the Front Row Racing World Championship Round 16 from Malaysia. I'm Front Row Racing DP and joining me in the commentary box today, Front Row Racing JS and Razor 21. I'm just going to quickly hand over to my co-commentators to see what they're hoping to see out there on track today. So James, Tony, what are we looking for today?
Well, I'm looking for some extremely exciting racing, especially down into turn one, as we know they're going to be turning up there, probably barreling down into turn one at about 150 mile an hour, slamming on the brakes, and then into the very, very awkward turn 1 and 2. So really anything can happen down into there, and What are you thinking? What we think that's going to go on this afternoon?
Well, it's Malaysia, so it's high chance that it's gonna rain. So if that happens, that's gonna spice things up.
Well, that's unfortunate for me, as I forgot my brolly along with my tongue tonight. It looks like I've completely lost my marbles.
You know what that is? That's whatever it was that you were eating 5-10 minutes ago. It's giving you numb tongue.
It's hit me. Yeah, it's giving me numb tongue. But yeah, unfortunately, I got the wrong flight here to Malaysia, and I turned up in Suzuka, but I had to get a last minute flight over to Malaysia, and yeah, here we are. First race here for F1 was in 1999, and that was won by the one and only Irish legend that is Eddie Irvine, and we've only got one Ferrari here this weekend, so he could be the one and only Ferrari, and he could go and win it, as the two full-time drivers are gallivanting off down to Barcelona for the real F1 race this weekend.
That they are. And talking about the drivers, I will run through what drivers we've got here today. We may send the drivers over to the racetrack a few minutes after the half hour, just to give us a chance to get through this and make sure that the drivers that are meant to be in get in, and give Tony the chance to lock the lobby down to the amount of drivers we've actually got in. So anyway, the drivers out there today. In the Fearless Trailblazers Mercedes, we've got Temp Fear, last year's world champion, and Stocky. And interestingly, their qualifying head-to-head is in the favour of Stocky at the moment. He's 11-4 up. When it comes to race heads-to-heads, is exactly the same. He's 11-4 up. In the Scuderia Ferrari, it's the GG Well Played Ferrari. As James said, though, both Overdijking and Jamie James, they're over in Barcelona at the moment. So RMS Maranello is going to be taking to the track for them today as Overdijking's reserve. But Overdijking and Jamie James, they're head-to-head. Overdijking 8-7 ahead in qualifying, and he's 10-5 ahead in the races as well. In the Team Banter Williams, we've got GT5 King 786 and Mornay 77, and Mornay 77 has dominated qualifying a little bit between those two. He's 12-3 up. However, in the races, GT5 King has turned the tables a little bit and managed to get it to 9-6 in his favour. In the Danish Dragons Red Bull, we've got Mr. Hamilton 44 and Bleeding Sunrise. Now, these two are a new team pairing, with Bleeding Sunrise coming into the team recently. But Mr. Hamilton is 2-1 up against Bleeding Sunrise in qualifying, and is also 2-1 up when it comes to race results. Duo Finn and Coming to Get You, they are in the Moving Chicane Racing Force India, and Coming to Get You 7-0 up in qualifying and 7-0 up in race results as well. In the Renault, the A2W Racing Renault, we've got Braken Clays and W Butler, and they're a newish team pairing from a few races ago. And let's see, Braken Clays 3-0 up in qualifying against W Butler and 2-1 up in race results. In the Prancing Rosso, Toro Rosso, we've got Simo 911 and F1 Roadrunner. Again, a newish team pairing from much earlier on in the season. Simo 8-1 up in qualifying and 5-4 up in race results as well. in the McLaren Honda. It looks like we haven't got El Turton with us, or Bartman, tonight, so Hammer Time 9.5. He's going to gain some extra bonus points on his teammate. He's already, let's see, 9.6 up in qualifying and 8.7 up in the race results. We've got Jason in as the admin's pick rookie driver today, and in the Haas team, the Lunatic Assassin Racing Haas, we've got Sertak Karatepe and Erna Urchin. Both guys joined the World Championship 2 races ago. They're 1-1 in qualifying head-to-head, and Erna Urchin is 2-0 up when it comes to race results. So hopefully Bartman will be able to join us. If not, Tony will need to knock the lobby spaces down by another position. James, I believe you're going to take us through the previous race results quickly, if you can.
Yeah, so the Singapore race results from a fortnight ago. Simo 911 came away with the win in the Prancing Rosso Toro Rosso. Mr. Hamilton 44 came second for the Danish Dragon Red Bulls. Stocky close behind in the fearless Trailblazers Mercedes. His teammate Temp Fear made a brilliant race, going up 14 places to finish 4th last time out, which was a very decent job for the Mercedes-Benz team. Coming to get you came P5. For the Moving Chicane Racing Force India. Bleeding Sunrise in the other Red Bull came away in P6. Overdijking came away in P7 for the Ferraris. P8 was F1 Roadrunner in the Toro Rosso. Jammy James came away in P9 due to a 20-second time penalty. Erna Urchin came away in P10 for the Lunatic Assassin Racing Haas. The Chewbacca Rookie Manor, and it doesn't seem to have the driver's name for that event, but they came away in P11. Duo Finn came away in P12 for the second Force India driver. Will Butler for A2W Racing Renault came away in P13. GT5 King came away in P14 for Williams. Breaking Clays came away in P15 for Renault. Mornay came away in P16 for Williams as well. Bartman did not finish down in P17. Hammer Time also did not finish, and Sertak Karatepe did not start, it says, so maybe a few issues for him last time out.
He did have a few problems last time out. Tony, can I just get you to confirm that you've locked the lobby down to 20 for us?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, in that case, we'll send the drivers over to the racetrack for the Front Row Racing World Championship Round 16 from Sepang in Malaysia. And I am going to quickly try and run through the Drivers' Championship standings and the Constructors' Championship standings. That is until I have Tony and James scream in my ear that it's spitting, which may be a possibility here in Malaysia. So, the Drivers' Championship standings, it's quite feisty, you know. We've got a lot of battles going on throughout the order. Mr. Hamilton 44, he's leading the way at the moment on 229 points. However, only 8 points behind him is Stocky 2790. Now, Mr. Hamilton 44, he's in the Red Bull car, Stocky's in the Mercedes, and that's going to come on to another story a little later on to do with the constructors' standings. In third place, we've got Overdijking. He's on 122 points, and not that far behind is Temp Fear. Overdijking not racing today. Temp Fear's got a chance of jumping up into third place. We've also got a battle between 5th place Simo 911 and Coming to Get You 85. Simo's got 83 points and won last time out. Coming to Get You's got 75 points, so close between them. But actually, not too far behind them either is another battle. In 7th place, F1 Roadrunner's got 62 points, while Jammy James has got 61. But again, he's not here today, so F1 Roadrunner's got an opportunity of gaining some ground on him. Could even get himself into that battle for a higher position. In 9th place, we've got Mornay 77 on 50 points, and only 2 points behind him is Hammer Time 95. So watch out for those two battling it out on track. Then in 11th place, we've got the FRR admins pick rookie car, so to speak, on 39 points, and then what would have been another battle between Bartman in 12th on 35 points, GT5 King in 13th on 30 points, and Bleeding Sunrise in 14th on 28 points. So 11 points between 11th place and 14th place, so those positions could really switch around today. We've then got W Butler in 15th with 4 points, Duo Finn, he's in 16th on 1 point, Erna Urchum, he's joint 1 point, and then we've got Sertak Karatepe and Break and Clays, who are both on 0 points. We'll have a quick look at the weather and let that scroll on the screen while I get onto the constructors standings. And I mentioned about Mr. Hamilton and Stocky, and the reason for that is the Danish Dragons Red Bull and the Fearless Trailblazers Mercedes have got exactly the same amount of points here today, 327 points each. So the championship battle could go either way, and however that goes could affect the constructors battle. In 3rd place, we've got the Lunatic Assassin Racing Haas, and they're in a close fight with the GG Well Played Ferrari, who've only got one reserve driver today. They're on 183 points. The Prancing Rosso Toro Rosso team are in 5th place on 172, a little bit in no man's land, but could gain a position today, or at least close the gap. In 6th place, we've got the Underdogs McLaren on 99 points, and only 3 points behind them is the Moving Chicane Racing Force India. So that could be another battle to keep an eye on. While the Team Banter Williams, they're on 80 points, but without Mornay's bad luck from last time out, that gap would have been a hell of a lot closer. Chewbacca Rookie Manor are on 39 points. They're safe in that position, but I think some questions may need to be asked about what's happening down at the A2W Racing Renault team, as they are sitting on 4 points at the moment. So guys, you've had a chance to have a look at the weather, and it looks like we're not getting any rain today.
Yeah, but it is very, very overcast out there. Lots of clouds hanging around the circuit, so even though them radars are telling us there's going to be no rain, there could be a slight possibility of a little bit of a tiny shower here and there.
Well, that there could be. I mean, the Sepang International Circuit, 5.543 kilometres in length. It's not a short track, but it's a very busy track, isn't it, James and Tony? Until you get to that last sector where you've got the long straight, the back straight, and the long start finish straight.
Yeah, this is definitely a very fast flowing circuit, and the last thing you want on a qualifying lap is traffic.
Definitely. So Mr. Hampton 44, he's out there at the moment, and the tyres for today, if I remember rightly, we've got the yellow marked soft tyre, the white marked medium tyre, and the orange marked hard tyre. So strategy wise, could be 2 stops, could be 3 stops. We can see there the clouds that you were on about, James. It does look like it could rain here today, even though the weather forecast said it wouldn't. But I am going to try and ride on board with Mr. Hampton 44 as he starts his first flying lap. Just to let the viewers know as well, unfortunately we haven't got drivers pre-race comments today, but I have got question of the day, and before I put it out there, I am going to let everybody know that the question was given to me. It's not something I've come up with. So today's question of the day: how many wheels are there on a Formula 1 car? It's an easy enough question. So James and Tony, we'll let you have a think about that one, and I'll try and get an answer off you in a little while. And if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to pop your guesses on the YouTube chat at any time, so we do have somebody keeping an eye on the chat. So James, Mr. Hampton 44, are we expecting a pole position from him here?
Well, he's definitely got the pedigree. I'm currently checking out Stocky, seeing how he's doing on his lap, but yeah, Mr. Hamilton 44 is definitely in the pound seat for this championship along with Stocky, so race pace is the key thing, but qualifying definitely is on the cards round here.
It is. Tony, I was just wondering if you could keep an eye on Simo 911 for us. He's won a couple of races this season, and we can try and perhaps compare sector times. Mr. Hamilton 44 has done a 24.444 sector 1. What about the other guys?
Well, Simo has done 24.34 sector 1 and 32.6 sector 2.
So Simo's up in both
finishing
sectors.
His lap.
Okay, thank you very much, Tony.
stock is just set at 135.1, and that's on the white-walled medium tyre. And that was also with a cheeky bit of team play from his very good friend Temp Fear, giving him a nice lovely slipstream down the back straight.
Oh, interesting. Well, let's see, Mr. 44 crosses the line. It's only 4th place for him at the moment. Simo, he's sitting in 3rd place. Is he going on for another fly-in lap? He's down in Sector 1. Coming to get you on medium compound tyres. He's sitting in 2nd place at the moment. And I think he may be going on for another fly-in lap. So at the moment, we've got 2 guys sitting 1st and 2nd on medium compound tyres, having put in faster lap times than the soft compound tyre. Tyres are going to get so confusing.
Yeah, it could be to do with the overcast conditions. Maybe they're not just switching on them softer compounds as quick, and the mediums may be quite liking these cooler temperatures.
Yeah, that they could do. Coming to get you, coming through turn 10, one of the corners I hate around this track. It's just on a 32.3 Sector 2 time. I mean, that's over a second quicker than Mr. Hamilton 44 was in Sector 2. And coming to get you definitely looks like he's still pushing on for this to be a timed lap. And from what I can remember from the reserve races last week, one stops probably aren't an option here. However, starting on the medium compound tyre does open up the strategy for you a little bit. The hard compound tyre is the mandatory tyre though. But let's see, coming to get you, he's just about to cross the finish line. Someone else has just either crashed or gone quick, but coming to get you, steals pole position provisionally.
Yep. I just need to apologise to all the viewers for the opening of the show where I got all tongue-tied as I'm getting tongue-tied again.
Something else then, didn't you? Well saved.
I've been checking out the local delicacies, and this morning, unfortunately for breakfast, it wasn't the normal Cheerios, it was the beef torpedo. Do you want to know what it was?
I don't know, you sent me a picture of something from Singapore and it was the most disgusting food item I'd ever seen in my life.
Well, I ate it thinking, oh, well, that sounds quite exotic, beef torpedo. Yeah, just think of private parts and not the round ones.
Oh dear.
Yeah, the long sausage ones, but it's not sausage.
I'm alright, thank you. I had a curry before we came live and it's already making me feel a bit queasy. Yeah, I don't need any help with that one. Cheers, James.
That just did make me get all tongue-tied at the start of the broadcast, so apologies there.
Okay, just having a quick look at Bleeding Sunrise. He's sitting in 9th place at the moment. He's out there on the soft compound tyre. I mean, Tony, would you or James, we've got a car very slow there, one of the Haas, keeping well out of the way. I was wondering if, Tony, you'd be able to give us a shout out of what the purple sector times are at the moment.
Sector 1 is 23.6. Sector 2 is 32.3 and Sector 3 is 38.9.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Bleeding Sunrise then on the soft compound tyre is a 10th off purple in Sector 1, is 3/10 off purple in Sector 2. Taking a very interesting line into the Sunway Lagoon there. But
yeah, you say interesting, I say completely wrong.
But is he going around there quicker than me and you are at the moment? Yes, because we're sat in armchairs in the commentary box. He's going to the pits anyway.
And is it just me, or are these clouds starting to break up now? I keep seeing little bits of rays of sunshine, and maybe I might be able to top up my tan.
You might be able to. Hold on a moment. I think Sertak Karatepe is doing a bit of a front row racing GP. Either that or somebody's left a water hose sprinkling onto his helmet, which making him think it's raining.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe he's just gone a bit colourblind.
Maybe. He might be thinking that he's not going to get into the top 10 anyway. He'll go and put a banker lap on the intermediate tyre. Or it could be something else.
Maybe he's anticipating rain.
Maybe. Okay, F1 Roadrunner, he's on an out lap at the moment. Jason, he is on an out lap as well. Sertak Karatepe, I believe, is on an out lap too. He's and he's on those intermediate tyres. Duofin's about to start a flying lap, so let's ride on board with Duofin for a moment. Now, Duofin is someone that I know is an avid wheel user, however, his wheel's not compatible with F1 2016, so I don't think he's on a wheel anymore. And James, I mean, if you could try and put that into perspective, when you're a wheel user and you can't use it, I mean, it is kind of a surprise that he's actually even taken to the track for most of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, how can I put it? It's kind of like losing your arm. You want to use it, and you feel like if you were using it, you'd be 10 seconds down the road. However, he's stuck with the controller, and those controller users are very, very quick, such as Stocky as Duofin has opened the DRS, and yeah, I think he's wishing, once again, if he had a wheel, he wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, but, I mean, if you could be right there. I mean, if it had been, you may feel that if he was on his wheel, that may have been a situation he could have saved. Exactly,
the opposite lock, them situations you can probably try and correct a little bit easier, where it looks to me like Duofin's got maximum front wing and nothing on the rear.
Well, I'm just having a quick look at GT5 King as he's trying to get his tyres up to temperature on his out lap. And interestingly, maybe he's spotted that the soft compound tyre is not really working. So I think, was it pole to fifth at the moment, are all on the medium compound tyre.
Yeah. So coming to get you is currently on pole on a 1:35.1. So GT5 King is just going to be starting his lap in about 2 corners time.
That he is. Tony, I'm just wondering what you've got your eye on down there. You keeping an eye on the skies, doing a little bit of a dance down in the pit lane?
Well, that's for the race. But I was checking the timing screen, and most of the guys who did first stint on soft tires are going to use mediums for the next one. So maybe you're right about medium tires being a better choice.
Okay, interesting. Okay then, GT5 King heading down into turn 1 into Pancor Lout. Very hard on the brakes and trying to keep it nice and tight to the apex. Turn 2 is where you can gain and lose a lot of time. Little twitchy on the exit though, and that continues a little twitchy around turn 3. Now heading up to turn 4, Lang Kwai. Difficult corner this, isn't it, James? I mean, it's uphill braking zone. It tempts you to take it so late, so deep.
Yeah, exactly. But unfortunately, all you've got on the exit is a little bit of grass, which will not help you through that high-speed corner of 5 and 6, which you've just been through. Is crucial. He's just nailed the apex of turn 7, but turn 8 it was a touch wide there. Now heading down into the tricky turn 9. And it's all about traction now up the hill, and that's not looking too shabby.
He was committed up the hill there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. That was quite impressive. A few metres wide there as he ran through turn 11. Now turn 12 and 13, this is all about running slightly wide and then cutting back, and that's not a bad line, but maybe just a touch too tight there for him. Maybe he needed to open that one up a bit.
I'm getting a little bit excited here though. 23.7 was only 1/10 off purple. 32.3, that matches purple. What's your sector 3 like, GT5 King? Can you get yourself up near the front row of the grid? Come on, son.
He left the car's width on the final corner, but here we go over the line.
4th place.
Not bad at all.
See, pop a camera on him and he delivers. Nicely done.
See who else is out there on a flying lap. I've got Jason in the Manor, just heading downhill through turn 12, I believe.
No, he's into turn 14 now, the Sunway Lagoon, the corner that most people do hate. Down a little bit in sector 1, down a little bit in sector 2 as well, but I do know Jason's not had a hell of a lot of practice time, but Tony, I believe you may have been giving him a few words of encouragement.
No need, he can do this. So.
Yeah, I like it. So across the line he's going to go, and it is still 13th place for Jason at the moment. So who else do we have out there?
In about a minute's time, remind me that Mr. Hamilton 44 has just gone out on a new set of mediums.
It's your job to remind me. Bleeding Sunrise has just popped himself into 3rd place on a set of medium tyres.
F1 Roadrunner's got some sort of glitch, and he's, I think he may have disconnected there.
Oh dear, oh dear. So Mr. Hamilton 44 sitting down in 11th place at the moment.
Yeah, Temp Fierce just heading out of the pit lane with a brand new set of mediums. He's another one, along with Hamilton 44, that needs to set a decent lap time. So yeah, Mr. Hamilton 44 using these tyres like a granny just heading out of the supermarket.
Well, interestingly, Temp Fears and Bleeding Sunrise, I mean, Bleeding Sunrise might be on an in-lap, but Temp Fear, I just spotted him, was cruising a little bit. Mornay's just about to start a flying lap and set us off. Whereas GT5 King was really trying to get temperature into the soft tyres, Temp Fear didn't look like he was thinking about that at all. Perhaps the tyres don't need it.
Yeah, I think maybe different asphalt at different circuits, and the tyres can warm up, and it all depends on setup, as Mr. Hamilton 44 is slamming on the brakes down into turn 1, get it turned in, and let's get a decent camera angle on him.
Well, so, you can, but I'm on board with Mornay at the moment, who's just done a 23.5 Sector 1 time on the soft compound tyre. If Mr. Hamilton 44 is quicker Sector 1, tell me.
23.6 Sector 1, that one.
Okay, so I'm going to stick on board with Mornay at the moment then. You keep an eye on Mr. Hamilton 44. Tony, I'm sure Tony will spot another driver to keep an eye on as well. Well, Mornay's previous lap time wasn't too shabby at all as he makes his way down into turn 9 now. Hard on the brakes, get it rotated into the corner, get on that power. Plenty of traction for him, and a 32.2 Sector 2 time. That'll please him, but he's now got to make sure he gets the Sunway Lagoon right. Sector 2 for Mr. Hamilton, James?
32.2.
Oh, so Mornay is up a little bit on him through Sunway Lagoon now. A little cautious through there. I think he may have lost a little bit of time. And he's now got DRS wide open as he makes his way down towards turn 15. I will try and jump on board with Mr. Hamilton 44 as soon as Mornay is across the line, but I think Mornay's about to gain a position or two. DRS wide open. Where's he going to put him? First place, pole position.
Miss Hamilton 44 just coming through the final corner. He's throwing everything at this and more. Let's see if he can snatch it back off him.
Yes, he can. He takes pole position. It was in that third sector where he get. No, he's just been dropped down to third. Simo 911, who was right behind him, steals pole position.
Temp Fear is now on a flying lap. He's just heading through turn 8, and yeah, he has got everything to lose if he doesn't get a flying lap in, as I don't think he will get another one in the bag with only 50 seconds remaining.
Well, 23.5 Sector 1 time. That's quicker than Mr. Hamilton 44 did. 32.2. That matches. Oh, twitchy Temp Fear. Don't go doing that, my friend. You'll end up at the back of the grid with us three, and that's not where you want to be. Into Sunway Lagoon.
Temp Fear has time for one more, like 5 seconds spare. So
but will he want to put an extra lap of tyre wear less on his tyres? I don't think he will. I think he'll want this one to be the one and only flyer, as he absolutely canes it into the final corner. Hard on the power, no retardation at the back, and let's just see.
No, it's 5th.
Ooh, 5th place. So close between them top 5.
Coming to get you, I think, had just finished a lap as well on the soft compound tyre, and he'd put himself into 4th place. Let's see, is Temp Fear continuing on? No, he hasn't got the fuel for it, I don't think.
So I think Simo 911, race leader from last time, has gone and snatched pole position.
Well, at the moment, we've still got RMS Maranello, who looks like he's still pushing out there at the moment. He's on soft compound tyres, sitting in 8th place, but he needs to find 8 attempts to try and fight for the front row of the grid into the Sunway Lagoon.
That is Simo in front of him, and he's just moving out of the way. That's nice to see from Simo. Now, all Maranello's got to do is absolutely chuck it into the final corner, not brake too much, but don't leave time on the table.
So, what's it going to be?
I think he brakes a touch too early there.
Pole position!
Ooh, well, there we go. One and only Ferrari. I said Eddie Irvine won for Ferrari in 1999. And we're going to see Maranello, with his one and only drive for Ferrari this season, go and take the win.
Well, he might do. Duo Finney's heading into the pits, but I mean, for RMS Maranello, I can't get back on board with him now, which is a shame. I mean, RMS Maranello, for anyone that doesn't know, he was a World Championship driver in the early part of this season, but due to work commitments, unfortunately had to give up his seat. And that's why there's other drivers in the Haas at the moment. But for RMS Maranello to come and take pole position like that, that's phenomenal stuff.
But not only that, I mean, have Ferrari even had a pole position this season?
Oh, that's a good question. I think they may have done. I think Overdyking may have had a pole position earlier on.
Well, what a way to come in and just steal the two main Ferrari drivers' thunder by coming in and snatching pole on his debut.
I wonder if they feel happy about it or a little bit anxious.
I think if I know them Ferrari drivers, I'm pretty sure happy won't be the word.
Actually,
in the back of their mind.
I think actually they will be. Because the whole point of the reserve system is to put somebody in your car that's going to score your team points. And if the person you pick goes and gets pole position and goes on to win the race, you're going to be happy. There's going to be a side note of, bloody hell, he was quick, in their mind. But that'll be the same for every driver on the grid right now. I mean, imagine what it would have been like if RMS Maranello had been able to keep racing throughout the course of this season.
So just to let the viewers know, he got pole position there from Simo 911 by 1/10 of a second. Yep. So he's going to have to try and outperform the medium runners to try and win this race.
Yeah, we'll just give us a second, James. Yes, so RMS Maranello pole position then from Simo. Simo's a bit of a strategy god though, so keep an eye on him. Miss Hamilton 44 in third, Mornay fourth, coming to get you fifth. Mornay got up there. Cheeky 10th here, sixth, Stocky 7th, Bleeding Sunrise 8th, GT5 King 9th, F1 Roadrunner 10th. Then we've got Breaking Clays, Erna Urcham, W Butler, Jason, Hammer Time 9.5, Joy Finn and Sertak Karatepe. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Now, in a few moments' time, I'll be jumping out of the lobby to come back in to capture the start of the race. But, I mean, not only is it interesting for RMS Maranello there, but it's interesting for Simo. He went for a harder compound in Singapore, and he went on to take the win, got the strategy right. But this time, Mr. Hamilton 44 is matching him on the strategy. So, they could be properly fighting for the win side by side here today. The Mercedes guys, one of which is fighting for the title, and both of which are fighting for the Constructors' title, they're down in what, 7th and 8th?
Exactly. And one of the main key things for me is, I don't know if you'll be able to see, you will when you get back into the lobby, but it is absolutely scorching out here on race day, and that is going to help the yellow marked soft tyre runners, which is pole position of RMS Maranello. That will help him today. He'll be able to switch them on, and we could see the medium runners losing out down into turn 1.
Well, I mean, RMS Maranello on those soft compound tyres, he does need to get them switched on, and he needs to disappear. He needs to open up a gap, because if he can't, he's in trouble. Being on the softer compound tyre could restrict his strategy options. Whereas Simo, Miss Hampton 44, being on the medium compound tyre, they're going to go longer, and they could go long enough to put on the hard tyres and look at going to the end. Whereas RMS Maranello, for example, it may be a case of starting on the soft tyre, pitting early, and either going soft or medium again, and then a shorter stint on the hard tyre at the end. But either way, the formation lap is going to be underway soon, and once it is underway, I will jump away from the racetrack, and I'm sure my co-commentators will also have a look at what tyres those outside the top 10 are going to use, because they could come into play as well.
Yeah, it could definitely be an opportunity for some drivers.
Well, we shall wait and see what is going to happen here for the Front Row Racing World Championship Round 16. I don't know about the drivers. I know I'm feeling a little bit of tension about this one. Tony, how are you thinking about this one?
I'm very interested about the weather. It's sunny right now, but it's cloudy to the end, and it could rain in the last few laps, so let's see if it happens.
You're right.
I'm just wondering if that tension could be that curry you had earlier.
Oh, you know what, James? It could be, because tension does tend to sort of sit in the stomach, shall we say. You know, I've got butterflies in my stomach. No, it's just the butter chicken curry you had earlier, Dave. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But Tony's right. I mean, the weather could change. We've seen it throughout the course of this season. The weather forecast has been wrong, and the drivers will be relying on their engineers to give them the information. They'll be looking into the skies to see how the weather is. But for RMS Maranello, what a job. What a job from him. To come in and take the pole position in the fashion that he has done.
And we have outside of top 10, almost everyone has a hard tire compound to start with.
Tony, do you think that the drivers outside the top 10, obviously they're starting on the hard tyre, but do you think they're possibly going to not be on them for as long as you might think? That they might stop earlier and go soft compound with the weather being as it is now?
Well, I don't know. Let's find out what's going to happen.
I suppose that is all we can do. Okay, question of the day. I'm going to fire that out there as well quickly. I'll try and get an answer from these two. Bear in mind, folks, it was a question that was given to me. It's not one that I've come up with. It's a dead easy one, though. How many wheels are there on an F1 car? So, James, how many wheels do you reckon there are on an F1 car?
5.
Oh, 5? Are you sure it's not 4?
Yeah, I'm right, it's 5.
Okay, so Tony, how many wheels on an F1 car?
Oh, hang on.
I'm gonna say like about 40, maybe, because
I'm
there's all kinds of wheels.
Sorry, can I change my answer? Can I go 9?
9? Oh, all right then. I want to know which F1 car sat there with 20 wheels on either side of his car. But yeah, okay, that's your guesses, and anyone on the YouTube chat is welcome to have a guess at the question of the day. Just pop your answer on the YouTube chat. Now, I'm getting an interesting camera angle on board RMS Maranello at the moment, sort of right next to his exhaust pipe, having a look at the cars behind him. Yeah, not had this camera angle for the start of a race, but I wouldn't be surprised if it changes on me fairly soon. So, from a racing World Championship, hang on a minute, it looks like it's put me in control of my car. It has. That's not good. I am going to have to try and retire as quickly as I can, then we're not going to get to see the start of the race, unfortunately, as beautifully as we would like. Actually, it's going to disqualify me. So apologies for the delay here, folks, but I'll get disqualified, and hopefully I will be able to catch the start of the race.
Yeah, it's just popped up saying you're disqualified on my screen. It's currently blank with your name, and it's spinning round. So
I have been disqualified, dodgy driver that I am. We'll get rid of my car. Here we go.
Oh, we could just say dodgy codemasters. Eh?
Yeah, that is true. We could. Okay, so the drivers, it's a long wait at the start of the race for them, and I wouldn't be surprised if this does cause a problem. Probably one of those things where it's actually not going to bring on the start lights, because it hasn't done yet.
Currently, I'm still sat with a blank screen, the names of the drivers, and yours is still spinning round. So
you've got a blank screen at the moment, which means it's not going to do anything until I leave. So I will leave and come back in. It does mean that we're probably going to miss the start of the race, so get ready, folks.
Right, so we've got 5 lights on, and unfortunately this is a very, very shocking start to the Malaysian Grand Prix as the drivers are away. And yeah, I'll try and commentate, and hopefully DP can get back into the lobby. If not, we may have to restart this.
Yeah, we may have to. I'm just trying to rejoin now, so unfortunately we have missed the actual start of the race. Beautiful Codemasters there for us. I am on my way back in. So James, what's the situation?
Right. Up at the front we've got Simo right behind Maranello. Oh, we've got Tempfia off. He's gone off in turn 3, and that looks like heavy damage. And it looks like, to me, the Red Bull of Miss Hamilton 44 is coming past Simo 911 round the outside of turn 5, which is a very high speed, into turn 6. And I think Miss Hamilton 44 has got this, and Mornay 77 is into P3.
Well, RMS Maranello, he's got a little bit of a gap up at the front, and he needs that. I am now back on the track, although right behind him is a right gaggle of cars. 5th, 6th, coming to get you up the inside of, I think that's Simo. Yeah, side by side they go, but managed to get back into single file. But for Temp Fear, obviously not a great start. It'll be another one he'll be frustrated about. Stocky into 6th at the moment, though.
Yeah, and Johofen did a jump start at the start. I did catch on my screen, and it's confirmed it's a penalty for it.
Mr. Hamilton.
Oh, Stocky spun!
Right.
It looks like he's still going. Yeah, he is still going, but down to 12th place, coming through the lagoon there.
Just to let you know, Mr. Hamilton 44 is within striking range of Maranello, heading down towards turn 1. I think he's going to go to the inside. Maranello's defending, making it a tight turn 1 that he wants, but he's giving just enough room for Mr. Hamilton 44 to survive. But I don't think the Ferrari's going to give up into turn 2. No, he's still there. Lovely driving there from Maranello, and here comes Mornay.
Mornay on the soft compound tyres then. I mean, I said earlier on he was unlucky in Singapore, and I won't mention anything else about that, so I don't want the commentators curse him.
This is racecraft. If you want to watch next corner, they'll be flying off into the gravel, but absolutely brilliant racecraft here from RMS Maranello, really keeping Miss Hamilton 44 at bay.
Well, really, Maranello needs Mornay 77 to start applying some pressure to Mr. Hamilton to give him a little bit of a breather. But Mornay just went a little bit wide, and that's cost him a tiny little bit of time. But Mornay's not in a bad position. The only problem is, for 1st and 3rd, they're surrounded by drivers on the medium compound tyre.
So Simo 911 looks to be under pressure as well from Bleeding Sunrise in P6. So that looks like that battle with the other Red Bull Racing driver is hotting up.
And we have a F1 Roadrunner having difficulties with staying on the track. He's spinning like a madman right now.
Okay.
Well, that's not nice.
Well, Mr. Hamilton 44 is close to RMS Maranello, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to...
I think he is.
Is he? Oh, he might be.
I think he's got it. Here we go. Maranello is going to go defensive early, or is he going to wait?
He's looking like he's going to go around the long way round to look for a switchback.
Well, I think Maranello's got an answer, racecraft-wise, to everything Mr. Hamilton 44 keeps throwing at him.
Quite possibly. Let's see, Bleeding Sunrise in 6th place. He's on the back of this little train at the moment, and GT5 King, he's trying to close up onto the traffic there as well. Stocky's got himself into 9th place, but I'm seeing in the background W Butler under attack from Erna Urcham. Up the inside, Erna Urcham goes, and they both just about managed to get through the corner, I believe. Yes, they do, but now Erna Urcham's got Sertak Karatepe right behind him. Temp Fear, though, where is he? Down in 17th place, and interestingly, he's on the hard compound tyre. That may be a factor as to the difficulties in the opening lap, because those tyres at the start have just no temperature in them at all.
Indeed,
he has pit stop once. He didn't start on hard tyres.
So probably a pit stop for repairing damage then for Temp Fear. He will not be happy about that. Maranello just made a right mistake of the Sunway Lagoon there, and that's going to put him under a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure, and earlier in that lap he'd managed to pull out a decent gap. He's defending fresh area, and he's really making sure that the drivers in 3rd and 4th start gallivanting all over the back of Hamilton 44.
Is the sitting duck now, though?
Yeah, he is, definitely. What's he going to do? I think he's just going to have to sit there and watch Hamilton go all the way past him.
Yeah, well, it's the first time that Mr. Hamilton 44 has really been able to attack him with DRS, but he's still fighting it back side by side. Is he going to go for a switchback, or is he going to squeeze him? No, neither. They're just going to drive through. Oh, it's close on the exit, though.
Very, very close. Maranello through the apex was slightly in front. He's now slightly behind, but he's up the inside for the next corner.
Ooh, Mr. Hamilton 44 thought about turning in then and realised the Ferrari was still there, but now he's ahead. Now he's got the corner, and now RMS Maranello's going to have to be careful of Mornay. To be fair, Mornay's doing well at the moment to not have been attacked from behind.
Yeah, exactly. Coming to get you, looks fierce behind him in the Force India. But Maranello, he needs to make sure that he capitalises straight back on Miss Hamilton 44 before Mornay has him as well.
That he does. Well, I mean, Maranello's is in position to get DRS though, so as long as he can stay close through the next 3 corners, he's got DRS and he can have an attempt to attack him back, and he needs to do that.
He did ruin this corner though last lap. Will that be playing on his mind, or is he going to nail it?
It could play on his mind. I mean, it's a corner a little bit like we know in Project Cars at Bathurst, James, the dip, where you take it more cautious through there and it punishes you more. That's a corner that's very similar.
He's really closing. Here we go. Oh, he's waiting for the second DRS straight, but he's gone wide in the final corner. Is Mornay going to have a look at him?
I think he went for a different line to perhaps try and get a nice run out of the corner, but it's compromised him too much.
No, here he comes. Look at that extra speed he's got.
While this is happening, Stocky's just popped in the fastest lap of the race as Maranello still behind. Here comes Mornay. Here comes Mornay.
Yeah, I think Maranello were absolutely chopped up there by Hamilton 44, but luckily for Hamilton 44, he did not have his front wing up his inside, but Mornay's absolutely chomping at the bit here.
He is. Just want to have a quick look back at GT5 King to see if he is closing in. It doesn't look like he is. Stocky's closing in on GT5 King, but Stocky also looks like he's lagging about a little bit. Let's have a look. Braken Clay's in 9th place on the hard compound tyre, so he's going to try going long, I believe.
I think Maranello just needs to regroup and try and re-attack.
Coming to get you, attacking Mornay into turn 9. They got side by side. Mornay now defending the next corner. Yep. That'll compromise his exit though, and here comes coming to get you. He's having a look up the inside, but you don't really want to make the move there. But he'll get Mornay out of position, and he can attack onto the apex of the Sunway Lagoon. But here comes Simo as well around the outside. He may get a jump on the both of them if he isn't run out of room. So Simo making the move.
Yep, and that's giving Maranello a little bit of breathing space, but unfortunately he's just too far back to Hamilton 44. He's into the pits.
You what?
He's into the pits already, along with the Williams. Mornay 40. Was it Mornay into the pits?
It can't have been Mr. Hamilton 44 into the pits. No, it was Maranello into the pits.
Sorry, I'm getting all part 2 tongue-tied. Here we go again.
Okay, GT5 King side by side with Stocky then heading into turn 1, and Stocky gets the move done around the outside, but maybe GT5 King realising that is not his fight at the moment. So, James or Tony, which tyres have RMS Maranello and Mornay gone for?
They've gone on to the hards, I believe. The orange marked hard tyre, both Mornay and Maranello. Are they going to be able to switch these tyres on straight away so that the undercut is on the cards, or could this just end up being a bit of a tyre that doesn't really work around this circuit?
It could be. Something though that second, third and fourth need to kind of do at the moment is not fight each other. If they don't fight each other, they've all got a chance of catching Mr. Hamilton 44. If they all fight each other, they're not going to catch him at all.
Yeah, coming to get you now, 2.5 seconds away from the race leader with Hamilton 44. Simo is now down in P3, and he's 3.3 seconds away, but he's all over the back of coming to get you now.
Well, is he going to be able to attack? He's going to have a look, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be a breeze, I think, unless coming to get you, it's going to turn in on him. No, lovely respect there, giving a car's width, and on the exit, it's going to be side by side.
Well, Simo now edging ahead a little bit with the DRS in effect, and it makes life a hell of a lot easier here in Malaysia. Simo's gone deep though into turn 1, and coming to get you, having a sneaky look up the inside, may be able to get Simo compromised on the exit of 2, and he's a little bit twitchy, but I don't think coming to get you is going to be able to attack him. Tony, have we got any battles kicking off a little bit further down the grid, I wonder?
Well, I was watching Temfear. He's 1 minute behind of the leader, and he doesn't see anyone in front of him. Yeah, so I wonder what he's thinking about.
Looks to me like Ernie Ertram's under attacking the Haas from Hammer Time 95 in the McLaren. It's down in P8.
Yeah, so, I mean, Tony, you were just saying there about Temp Fear. What's going through Temp Fear's mind? Bad words, I think, will be the answer to that one.
Sorry, this is going to have to just butt in here, as usual. Maranello's coming up behind Jason, who's just run wide along with Mornay, and they're getting a little bit tripping over all these drivers who have not pitted yet.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Maranello and Mornay, I think, got a little bit of a free pass there, and in the background, F1 Roadrunner and W Butler having a little bit of a fight. But James, you want to have a look at the leading guys and see if anything's kicking off between them. GT5 King, I believe, has made a pit stop because he is now right behind. W Butler getting very out of shape there on the exit of turn 10. That's going to give GT5 King an opportunity into the second fast left-right chicane on the circuit.
Up at the front, it's all looking very stable at the moment. No battles kicking off so far.
Okay, Tony, if you could have a look at the gap between RMS Maranello and Mr. Hamilton 44 and keep an eye on that gap and see which way it's going at the moment. I just want to see if GT5 King's going to be able to attack W Butler here down into turn 1.
Hammer Time is attacking Örnefum.
Okay, I'll come to that in a second as GT5 King gets the overtake done down into turn 1. W Butler trying to fight it, but GT5 King is ahead, so on board with Erna Urcham. So is it Hammer Time attacking Erna, or was it the other way round, Tony?
Hammer Time attacking.
Okay.
Sorry to cut it off. We've got Simo 911 under attack from Coming to Get You side by side for P2 at the moment. Really kicking off. That Force India just came absolutely out of nowhere, and yeah, within one lap he's just closed in by at least a second.
Well, in Singapore we saw Simo on the middle compound tyre when the drivers ahead of him were on a softer compound tyre, and he made that strategy work, but at the moment he's now 4 seconds off the lead of the race, and he's under a lot of pressure, whereas in Singapore he wasn't really pressured, so to speak, especially towards the later stages of the race. But is that a pit stop for the Force India?
It is. So Simo 911 and Hamilton 44 are staying out as Coming to Get You is back into the pit lane along with Stocky in P5.
Well, I'm watching RMS Maranello. He's catching up to Hammer Time 95, who is still trying to attack Erna Urcham. And I'm watching this because of where Coming to Get You may come out of the pits. Hammer Time got DRS on Erna Urcham up the inside. He's going to be able to at least try and go, as there we are, cars exiting the pit lane. And it looks like RMS Maranello and Mornay are still ahead, but Hammer Time's gone deep into turn 1. Is that going to let RMS Maranello through as well? Yes, around the outside he goes.
So that's a nice, easy move there for Maranello. He just needs to pick Erna Urcham off straight away. No messing about. Straight up the inside. He cannot be held up.
And he's going for it straight away, as you said, and he makes the move. And he needed that because it gets him away from Mornay. And Mornay has now got both of those guys to overtake. And he's also got Coming to Get You and Stocky right up his gearbox.
Yeah, indeed. So Mr. Hamilton 44 now leading the race on lap 9. Is he going to pit? When is he going to pit?
Well, RMS Maranello, I think, just took way too much curb at turn 8 there. And all of the cars behind. Oh, Coming to Get You! I've just seen him have a big lunge down into turn 9. Contact, and off Mornay goes. And I think James's headset just blew up as well.
Yeah, that was very opportunistic there, beyond belief. And I think the Williams did not really expect that.
Bleeding Sunrise to the pits.
Okay, Bleeding Sunrise into the pits then, so he's potentially going to come out somewhere near this battle. But I mean, we talked a little bit earlier about how Temp Fear might be feeling while we're going through his mind. I think could also ask the question for Mornay because he was in a great position.
Karatepe is into the pits as well now.
Okay, his teammate is still being pressured by Hammer Time, who may have an opportunity here, but RMS Maranello going past the pit lane once again, and no cars on pit exit apart from Bleeding Sunrise, who's going to come out behind the lot of them.
Yeah, it's just coming out behind, Coming to Get You. So it was crucial there for Maranello to get out, but he's currently still losing time to the race leader. Last lap he was running 25 seconds behind the race leader of Hamilton 44. This lap is 26.4 seconds behind, and he's having a little bit of a nightmare with his rear end.
Well, I mean, if you're on about RMS Maranello, I mean, it could be down to the hard compound tyre. Nobody in the reserve races really seemed to be comfortable with those, but Mr. Hamilton 44 and Simo 911 still going round the track at the moment. I mean, I sort of hinted at whether one stops were possible in the reserve races last week, and I was told no, can't be done. I doubt it'll happen, but I'm wondering if Miss Hamilton 44 or Simo may be thinking in that direction, because Mr. Hamilton 44 is not making any kind of moves to the pit lane.
And Simo's carrying on, braking clays for the Renault team, currently up in third, 20 seconds behind the race leader, but he has not pitted yet. But he really needs to make sure that they get some decent points.
Okay, we've got battles. Erna Urcham under attack once again, but now it's from Coming to Get You, as in the background. I think that's Stocky. Coming to Get You has a look up the inside. I've just seen that JS has left the session. It looks like James has been disconnected. She may be able to get back in though, but Erna Urcham losing the position to Coming to Get You, or has he? Erna Urcham's got good straight line speed, because Coming to Get You is really having to work hard for this one, as Stocky is also trying to get the move done here now as well.
Well, it's very odd. An error has occurred, so that's something to do with the game.
Well, Stocky is trying to get past Erna Urcham here, and he's got Bleeding Sunrise behind him, who's looking just as feisty as Erna Urcham. Leaves a little bit of room. Stocky is struggling a little bit though there to get the traction down, and Bleeding Sunrise is right behind him. Gonna try around the outside there. That's not gonna work, and here comes Bleeding Sunrise around the outside, but he's now off the track. He manages to recover the car, but he wasn't able to gain the position. While all that is happening, sorry James, while all that's happening, RMS Maranello is pulling away from those guys a little bit.
Is Hamilton 44 still carrying on?
He is, yeah, he's not making any moves towards the pit lane, and I'm thinking if he can get to, what, lap 12, lap 13, he's one stop in this race.
Yeah. Also, Simo 911, is he still in P2?
He is. And he's still only 4 seconds behind, so if he's able to go for an undercut at all, he may be able to gain. But he looks like he's struggling into turn 1 quite a lot. Tony, I'm just wondering what's got your attention out there at the moment.
Well, we have whatever you say it, pressured by Stocky. No, it's not Stocky, Bleeding Sunrise. In turn 1.
No, unfortunately I cannot get back into the lobby.
James, try through the chat party as Erna Urcham. There is, yes, Tony, a bit of contact between Erna Urcham and Bleeding Sunrise. And Bleeding Sunrise does manage to get through, but yeah, James, you might want to try through the join through the chat parties. GT5 King, I think he's just made a move on Jason into turn 1 and 2. He's now got himself up into the points, and he'll be hoping to try and pull away from Jason as quickly as he can, because I think for GT5 King there's still an opportunity of a higher place position than he is in at the moment. Mornay, though, after that little bit of contact, down to 12th place, and he's beginning to catch up to Jason and GT5 King, I believe.
Mr. Hamilton to the pits.
Okay, so it is at the end of lap 12.
Simo carrying on, or is he going to pits as well?
Simo behind him into the pits.
Yeah, I mean, there'd have been no benefit for Simo to continue on. I suppose the question now could be, where is RMS Maranello? I think Mr. Hamilton 44, he just manages to get out of his pit slot before Simo arrives, but I think Hamilton 44 is going to stay out ahead of RMS Maranello, who is only just now crossing the start-finish line. And yes, there is quite a bit of a gap between RMS Maranello and Mr. Hamilton.
Just so I can confirm that my screen is correct, Braking Clays is currently leading the race, not stopped yet.
That is correct. Mr. Hamilton 44 is in second place, and RMS Maranello has managed to stay ahead of Simo. But I don't think Simo's going to have to stop again, and I think RMS Maranello may have to.
I personally, seeing how bad these hard orange mark tyres have been for Maranello, I would probably go for another set of the mediums and then maybe finish on the yellow mark softs if I was in Mr. Hamilton 44's position. But he's going to find out how these hard tyres go now.
Well, I mean, on the hard tyres, he should be able to go all the way to the end. I'm just keeping an eye on Jason, who's being attacked by Mornay. Yeah, I mean, he should be able to get to the end. So I think, regardless of what the tyres are like, he'll go to the end. Mornay making the move up the inside of Jason between turns 6 and 7. Jason struggling a little bit out there, which is a shame, but he's still running in 12th place at the moment, with quite a few cars behind him. But yeah, for Miss Ham... Go on.
Brecon Clays looks like it's going to be under attack now from Hamilton 44.
I mean, Brecon Clays started the race on these hard compound tyres. I mean, James, where's he going to come back out on track when he completes the pit stop he's about to do?
It's probably going to be down in about 7th place behind... No, actually, maybe a bit further down. I think it may be where GT5 King is in P10, so it could be maybe coming on with a couple of points for the Renault team.
But he's going to be on a softer compound of tyre.
Yeah, and GT5 King's just coming around the final corner now.
Taking place on medium tyres, exiting the pits.
So here we go, how close is this going to be? Oh, I think he's just jumped him. So
let's see.
No, it's side by side. Mornay, very, very close. GT5 King's through, and this is a battle with Mornay's teammate.
So Mornay's collision he was involved in earlier has now put him into a bit of a tricky position because he's on the harder compound tyre, and Brecon Clays is not exactly slow. So that's definitely a battle to kind of keep an eye on. But also this battle for second place, RMS Maranello, Simo coming to get you. They're not finished fighting this one out, that's for sure.
No, definitely not. This is pretty much handbags at dawn for P2. Maranello, he couldn't hold on to P1 with Hamilton 44 earlier in the race, but his racecraft kept him behind for a fair few laps, so if his racecraft's as good as it was at the start of the race, he may be able to hold these up.
Yeah, the thing is, Malaysia's quite an interesting track as well, though. I mean, if someone wants to overtake you into the final corner, you let them do it because you get DRS off them as long as they're ahead before the next detection. Simo having a look up the inside into the final corner. So yeah, I mean, there's no point fighting it too hard into or even defending into the final corner because you can have the benefit down the start finish unless the driver gets past you too late and he gets the DRS and opens up the gap on you.
Yeah, so Maranello there was unable to re-attack, but Simo's gone slightly deep into turn 1.
Oh, sideways as well. But I mean, he's been struggling with turn 1 for a lot of this race as Simo.
Yeah, but the traction you could just see there for Simo with them superior tyres were just able to pull a couple of car lengths over Maranello, which has then forced Maranello into, well, there's no chance of an overtake in the next corner. But yeah, Simo just seems to be a little bit erratic at the moment. I think he needs to slightly calm down. I know he's in this battle with Hamilton 44 and he wants to catch him, but I would try and just keep it steady and try and keep doing the same lap times as Hamilton 44.
Well, there's something interesting creeping up on these guys in the shape of a Mercedes.
Yeah, so Stocky, I believe he had a bit of a mediocre start. He's not as bad as his teammate though, Tempfira, who went straight off at turn 3. But Stocky, yeah, I think we've not seen the best of him so far, and yeah, he could really cause some fireworks.
James, Stock is on the medium compound tyre at the moment. He's not getting to the end, I don't think. I could be wrong. But could you have a look and see whether he's made a pit stop and what tyres he's actually used?
Just work that out.
So Simo opening up a little bit of a gap now. But yeah, I mean, for Stocky, he needs to catch up to these guys and get past them. Ideally, Stocky needs to finish in second place at minimum.
So yes, Stocky has been on the medium mark tyres. can't have been from the start.
Well, if he's only used medium...
Lap 8 he pitted, so he's only been on them for about 8 laps.
So he has got another pit stop to do. That could be a problem for him, unless everybody else has another pit stop to do as well.
Brakenclays has made his way past GT5 King, and now Mornay is having a look at GT5 King. I think GT5 King is a bit of a sitting duck at the moment, but Brakenclays quite happy up there in P8 now.
Well, I could be... Oh, GT5 King got a little bit twitchy. I think GT5 King may have been on these tyres since the start, as the Williams guys go side by side through the fast, left, right, and they're still side by side. So GT5 King, he's not just giving Mornay the position, and in some respects I can kind of respect him for that.
But I'm pretty sure Frank Williams is sat there in his wheelchair absolutely tearing his hair out if he's got any left.
Nah, he'll be loving that. He'll be loving that, he will.
Or should I say Claire now, as she seems to have taken over the reins.
Yeah, well, you know what? It still gets me that when Frank Williams had his crash, he was told, "Yeah, Stocky into the pits." That's not what he was told, but Stocky is into the pits. No, Frank Williams was told, "Yeah, you've probably got about 6 months," and he's the longest living person with his condition by about, I don't know, something ridiculous, by about 40 years.
It's very much remarkable in the way that Stephen Hawkins, I think he was told he had a year, and he's still going. And so is the rest of the runners. So coming to get you now is all over the back of Maranello. I think he's going to try and take away a bit of that red from the podium. He don't want to hear the Italian national anthem. I think he wants to hear a bit of the UK GB national anthem for the Force India team.
Well, would it be UK or would it be the Indian national anthem?
Well, yeah.
I've stumped you there, haven't I?
Yeah. Well, it technically is based in the UK, so... Yeah, but then again, you've got, even though they base Mercedes in the UK at Brackley, you've always got
a German company.
German company. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that. But I've never seen a Force India win, and I'm not sure if we ever will.
No, well, I think you could be right there. I think you could be right. RMS Maranello, though, he's going to be under a hell of a lot of pressure here, coming to get you so close with that DRS now. He's going to have an opportunity to make the move into turn 1. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. He's having a look up the inside, but backs out of it. Is that Maranello into the pits? Yes, it is. So he is on a 2-stop strategy.
That were very close, and I'm just noticing now, I don't think it is going to rain, but I'm noticing a lot of light cloud just building up towards turn 1.
Okay, I'm just going to have a look at where Stocky is at the moment. He's now on the hard compound tyre. The drivers he was catching up to have all used the hard compound tyre, but I'm interested to see whether Stocky's been able to get a jump on RMS Maranello at all, and if he has, or at least if he's got close, then he's pulled in 2 or 3 seconds.
Bleeding Sunrise has gone really long in his first stint, and he's out in front of Maranello, and he only pitted a couple of laps ago. There's GT5 King. He's now just realised that Maranello, there's no real point in fighting him due to the superior grip of that Ferrari. So
RMS Maranello has actually kept the gap about the same with Stocky, and Stocky now on the harder compound tyre. I don't think he's going to catch up to RMS Maranello now. So could this be a day when we get 2 Red Bulls on the podium, Bleeding Sunrise in P4? Well, James, I'm just actually no, I'll try and do it. So quick run through the grid order at the moment. Mr. Hamilton 44 leading the way, may still have another pit stop to do, but I don't think he is going to do another pit stop. Simo 911 running in second place at the moment, 4.7 seconds off the lead. Coming to get you running in third place, while Bleeding Sunrise, he's running in fourth, but I think he's going to have another stop to do. Brake and Clays I don't know if he will stop or not. He's currently sitting in 5th place at the moment. He's got RMS Maranello 2 seconds behind him trying to close that gap. GT5 King now on the hard compound tyre, sitting in 7th place, and he's got Stocky trying to catch him up in 8th. Certek Kanatepe sitting in 9th place at the moment, while Hammer Time 9.5 a few seconds behind in 10th. In 11th we've got Erna Urchin, and he's got Mornay 77 all over the back of him. And then we've got Jason in 13th place, Duofin right behind him in 14th place, so that's a battle that might kick off soon. F1 Roadrunner not too far behind them in 15th place, while W Butler is in 16th, and Temp Fear down in 17th place at the moment, and I think may have done another pit stop.
Mornay on the back of Erna Urchin for P11 this will be. I don't know what's going on with my tongue today. I think I may have had some morphine and can't seem to form any words tonight.
It's no different to usual, James. Right, Tony, take that microphone off him.
Well, can have too much of a good thing.
Oh yes, you can. I mean, okay, Tony, Temp Fear, Mornay, and even Stocky. How frustrated do you think those 3 drivers are going to be at the end of this race?
Sorry, Stocky, yeah, he's really all over the back of GT5 King.
GT5 King got a little bit too twitchy there. Stocky is trying to get him out of position. But yeah, Tony, how annoyed do you think those 3 drivers are going to be? Oh, hold on, Stocky chucks it up the inside into the Sunway Lagoon. Is he going to leave enough room for GT5 King? Ooh. Yes, he does. Side by side, who gets DRS? Stocky does.
If GT5 King's smart here, he gets straight back in that slipstream, or maybe shove it up the inside.
I think he lifted off a little early there to see if he could get DRS into the final corner.
No. Stocky's got it. He's gone.
I'm just wondering if it's actually just the one detection here in Malaysia now, because if it is, that would be a bit of a waste, as I think a car's just come out of the pits a little bit further up the grid, and Bleeding Sunrise has just come out of the pits as well.
Just in front of Certak Karatepe in the Haas, so he's right behind GT5 King, and I expect him to get them white-walled medium tyres up to temperature a lot quicker than normally expected.
Well, just to let you know, it's all got a little bit interesting. Let's see, Breakin' Clays, he's sitting in 3rd place now, and he's got Coming to Get You not that far behind. But Breakin' Clays has got his teammate who's out of position between them. Coming to Get You has made another pit stop, I think, because RMS Maranello is right behind him. RMS Maranello on the soft compound tyre, Bleeding Sunrise about to go for an overtake on GT5 King, I think, has a look, thinks better of it. So now we've got differences of tyre compounds from sort of 3rd to about 8th place, and it's all getting feisty. It's Bleeding Sunrise up the inside on the exit of turn 10 into turn 11. GT5 King gives him the room, but he's now going to come under pressure from the Haas driver behind him after being so respectful there. Certek Karatepe trying to apply some pressure.
Coming to Get You, just going past Will Butler, who's a lap down in the Renault, but I think he's kind of held him up, which has helped his teammate.
Oh, Maranello!
Almost sideswiped into the back of Will Butler there. I think if he's got fresh underwear waiting for him, I think he's going to need it by the end of this race.
Tony, underwear, come on, what colour are they? Oh,
what is Will Butler doing?
No!
What is he doing?
Being a lap down, yeah, that's it. Pull out of the way, Will. This isn't a fight you're in, I'm afraid.
But that's okay if you just put on a fresh set of super soft tyres and you want to unlap yourself. But if you're coming out of the pits and you're nowhere near this fight, what are you doing, slamming it up the inside into turn 1?
He wasn't coming out of the pits though, was he? He was already. He'd just been passed by RMS Maranello and sort of went for another overtake. Tony, you were saying. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, I was saying that that move was one way to change Maranello's color underwear. I think because that was.
It not only changed his, it changed James's as well.
Coming to Get You now all over the back of Breakin' Clays. Breakin' Clays doing an absolutely fantastic job. The best job Renault have seen all season, and could this be something on the cards with 7 laps to go? But Coming to Get You really wants to get on the podium today.
Well, this is where now this Renault can fight them. No problem with that, but whether he's going to be able to or not, I don't know. Coming to get you with the DRS. Actually, Braken Clays has got good straight line speed.
He has, because coming to get you had absolutely nothing there. He's going to have to try and do him on traction, but this is going to have to be a very, very close move, because he's only inching forward by about a metre per second.
Well, he's going to try going all the way around the outside into turn 1 to give him the inside of turn 2, and he has got that line, but Braken Clays gives up the corner, so to speak, but to try and get the run out of the turn, I don't think it's going to quite have worked for him, though. Although, saying that, he is coming back a little bit, and in the background I can see Bleeding Sunrise trying to get past W. Butler now as well, I think.
Braken Clays had the right idea there, but I think he needed to brake a touch earlier and get on the power a touch earlier as well to get another look back at coming to get you down into that 90-degree right-hander. That was his opportunity. Unfortunately, he left it a touch too late. He's gone a bit wide. And there goes the Ferrari of Maranello.
I tell you what, how those two didn't make contact on the exit of the corner there, I don't know, but well done to the both of them. I thought I'd wait until they get through turn 9 before I really said that. But yeah, they were ever so close to each other there, but unfortunate for Braken Clays, but a bonus for RMS Maranello.
Yeah, so Braken Clays, the only reason he's going backwards now is because them tyres are older than these drivers coming through, such as coming to get you Maranello, so he needs to try and just reset his goals. I would probably say, with the way stock is coming at him at that rate of knots, I'd probably say settle for P6.
Quite possibly. Oh, I'll tell you what, GT5 King's got a bit of a battle going on behind him. The two Haas drivers, Erna Urchin and Sertak Karatepe. Karatepe recently pitted, and they're kind of having a fight at the moment. But obviously, we do want to keep an eye on the battle that is going on up at the front. But we'll see if any action is going to happen between these Haas drivers.
Stock is just having a look up the inside of Braken Clays into turn 1. It's very late, and he's round. No, he's managed to hold it. That almost lost the rear end, but a bit of bump and grind through turn 1, and he's covered off in turn 2 as well. So Stocky really needs to start working on his racecraft, as that was a little bit clumsy there.
Well, it looked like he was all over the apex curb of turn 1, and it's not a particularly nice curb to take too much of. Oh!
Once again, driving into the back of the car when he should be going around the outside.
Well, it looked like he may have gone for a little bit of a switch back there, but we'll see what's going to result from this one.
Well, we can see now, I think what's happening is Stocky's racecraft's going out the window, as he can see his title rival just romping away into the lead, into the distance, and the clouds are covering over here at the circuit. I don't think there will be any rain.
Took it up the inside.
Very nice, but is Braken Clay going to come back at him on the exit?
He's trying. Stocky just about gives enough room and squeezes a little bit. Braken Clays is not giving this up, and he doesn't have to. And he is going to have potentially DRS as well, so doesn't really need to fight it for the next corner. Just wait for that DRS to pop open.
So here we go. Has he got DRS? He's got good straight line speed already without DRS. I think he may have a look back at him before the pit lane entry.
He is having a look. Thinks better of it, does he? Yes, he does.
Oh, he's going
into the pits.
So there we go, Stocky up to P5, but once again I think we saw a little bit of sloppy racecraft there from him.
I'm guessing that he just realised that his tyres were not going to make the end of the race. With only 4 laps to go, it's an odd time to pit. Miss Hampton 44 still leading the way. Simo 5.5 behind him. Coming to get you, sitting in 3rd place at the moment, 30.1 seconds behind. And RMS Maranello trying to catch up to him. Stocky now has been freed up and trying to catch into him as well. Tony, have we got any news down the grid?
Yeah, we have one thing to spice this thing up. We have 1 3-second penalty inside the top 5, so...
Just to let you know, Braken Clay's just come out of the pits in front of GT5 King and Sertak Karatepe, so that was crucial.
Has he, James? I hadn't seen that. I don't know, has he? Or did I happen to have the camera on that a little bit before you spotted it?
Have you got the cameras on the sky though? Because it's really clouding over here.
Don't cover the subject. I'm trying to stitch you up a little bit there.
Shut up.
I love it.
It happens every week. Get used to it.
It does. Have you actually say that? Have you managed to recover from the grizzly bear yet?
Oh God, don't remind me.
Oh dear. For anyone that doesn't know about that, you should watch the project cars from what was it, Oschersleben?
Oschersleben, yeah. Well, I had a bit of grizzly dong before we started as well, and that were nice as well.
Well, in this part of the world, you can get all types of food. Oh, contact between GT5 King and Sertak Karatepe. Around Karatepe goes, and here comes his teammate. I don't know if he's going to be able to capitalise on him, though.
So, it's, all kicking off with 4 laps to go. Bleeding Sunrise in P6, Stocky in P5, Maranello in P4. Coming to get you in P3, and Simo is now slightly dropping away from Mr. Hamilton 44 and he's now about 7.9, almost 8 seconds behind the race leader. So he's kept Mr. Hamilton 44 honest throughout this race, but I think it's just slipping away from him now.
Well, I'll tell you what.
The sky is getting cloudy very fast.
Oh, it is.
Could we have a good old sprinkling of rain on the last couple of laps? I could hope so.
It is really starting to roll in now with this cloud, and we do know with the humidity around here, it only takes a little crack of thunder and it could all kick off.
Yeah, and usually, I mean, when it rains around Malaysia, it usually rains hard. I'm seeing a little bit of lag on Miss Hamilton 44's car. Hopefully, nothing bad going to happen for him there. I mean, we saw him crash out in Spa, and I think he may have had a disconnection at another race as well. But this is a race where he could potentially not lock in the championship, but create a big enough gap to make the likes of Stocky think it's all over.
Yeah, I'm just seeing another fair bit of lag from Miss Hamilton 44, and this is not looking good for him if it starts kicking off.
I think Simo has kind of settled into the fact that second place might be where he's going to finish, because he has dropped off 3 seconds from the back of Miss Hamilton 44. But having said that, I was going to say he can't afford to do so because he's being caught by Force India, and he is. But he's being caught by Duofin, I think, not coming to get you. He's coming to get you is another, 22 seconds down the road. So the one stop's working for the leading 2 at the moment.
Is it just my view, or is Mr. Hamilton 44 got so bad lag that he's flying off the circuit?
He's on my screen as well.
Yeah, I don't think this is looking good for Mr. Hamilton 44. This could be miraculous win. Not saying that he's not used his talent to do it, but I think he's going to be praying that his connection holds up. Could
well be. Okay, guys, usually driver of the day and sort of team of the day are picked after all the penalties and stuff like that are dealt with. But if you were to pick a driver of the day and a team of the day right now, who would you pick?
I'd probably go for Maranello, just for that one and only flying lap for pole, and also his racecraft throughout this race has been absolutely spot on for me.
Tony, what about yourself?
Well, Karatepe has started on 17th place and it's on 9th place now, so it's quite a climb he has, so I don't know.
Wow,
I never picked these, so it's hard to pick one.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Karatepe, he's going to have to be careful. He's run a little bit wide at the lagoon, and he's got Hammer Time 9.5, who's sitting in 10th place at the moment, trying to catch him up. I've just spotted as well, GT5 King, he's in 12th place now. I did see him in the points a little earlier on, and I really would like to see him get into the points as well. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to be able to do that.
Braking clays are all over the back of Mornay now. He's got them fresher tyres, and they are the yellow marked soft tyres, so I think he'll be through Mornay like hot butter through a knife.
You do realise that was the wrong way round, don't you?
What?
If hot butter can go through a knife, then something's gone completely wrong with physics.
Well, it all could go wrong tonight.
Oh, well, Breaking Clays, he looks like a tub of margarine in that yellow car, and he's closing down the white loaf of Mornay 77. Did you not realise that you said it's like hot butter through a knife?
Yeah, it's from a classic quote that I once saw, a football commentary, the way the striker went through the defence and went straight for goal, and he said, like hot butter through a knife, and me and my dad both fell on the floor laughing his heads off. So I knew I had to use it.
Last half of the lap for our race leader.
We've got debris on the track as well. I'm watching Breaking Clays. He's made the move on Mornay. He's going past his teammate as well, but there was a lot of debris up there at the start, just after the Sunway Lagoon. Mr. Hamilton 44 is on to the last lap of the race. Keep an eye on him for us, Tony. I just want to keep an eye on this battle between Breaking Clays and Mornay, because it got really feisty there for a moment.
Oh, hammer time. Hammer time just gone flying round at the final corner. He's just lost out now. Down to P12, so that's promoted GT5 King and Erner Urcham. I think he just lost it himself into the final corner.
And GT5 King...
The 44 is on a straight now.
Okay, GT5 King has got an opportunity of getting that final point. Mr. Hamilton 44 then, he's approaching the final corner for the final time. It looks like it's going to be another win for him and another notch on the head-to-head side of the board for him. Mr. Hamilton 44 takes the victory here in Sepang. Simo 911 coming around the final corner to take second place. Go on, James.
Mr. Hamilton 44 there. No, sorry, not... what a win for him, but Mr. Hammer Time 95. It looked to me like he was trying to cause yellow flags at the final corner by driving into the wall. That looked like very, very bad driving there.
Oh dear. Well, let's see. Mornay and Breaking Clay still fighting hard, but it's Erner Urcham that's really under pressure from GT5 King. GT5 King is much closer. I'm going to try and sort of flick between the two of these battles.
I'll let you know about Erner Urcham.
Okay, so Breaking Clay's on to the back straight then. This to take 7th place if he can. He's ahead of Mornay, but not by a lot. Into the final corner they go, and it looks like Breaking Clay's is going to be able to hold on to that position as they make their way towards the start-finish line. Yes, he does, but GT5 King's got a phenomenal opportunity here, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, but his rear tyres are absolutely shot. Erner Urcham's are shot even more, so two drivers going to the final corner with absolutely no grip whatsoever, and who's going to get over the line first? Well, I think it's going to be Erner Urcham.
It could be. GT5 King did have a look to make the move, but wasn't quite able to do it, and across the line he goes. Unfortunately, it is 11th place for him, but he gave it everything he had got. F1 Roadrunner looks like it's going to be a 12th place for him, and he'll be the last of the cars that were on the lead lap. Just a reminder, guys, if you can take a picture of the result for us, please, top half and bottom half, and hopefully it'll have the drivers' PSN names on, although it does look like on mine it is not working that way, unfortunately.
Not mine either. It's got Felipe, Massa and Jensen buttons, so that's not looking good.
Yep, it does.
It's good for me, so...
Oh, that's all good then. We can use Tony's pictures. RMS Maranello, he did have a time penalty, so it didn't affect his position. However, Stocky had a time penalty that did affect his position. He's going to finish behind the Bleeding Sunrise, just to add a little extra pain to the day for Stocky. But I mean, I think both Mercedes drivers are not going to be overly happy about how today's race has gone. But sometimes you've got to have a look at the qualifying. I mean, starting sort of, I mentioned it at the time, starting sort of 7th and 8th, not a phenomenal position to start the racing. But having said that, the last race, 10th Fear started pretty much dead last, I think it was, and still finished in 4th. But yeah, I tell you what, picking a driver of the day and a team of the day today is going to be very, very difficult. But I think it's fair to say that RMS Maranello, he definitely showed that he's still got what it takes to be able to compete in the Formula Racing World Championship.
Indeed. Absolutely brilliant drive.
Yeah, I mean, I know that when Kev187 was racing as my teammate and wasn't able to make a few races, and I chose RMS Maranello to come and be a reserve driver for us. And, I mean, what you were saying throughout the race, James, was right. I mean, he's quick, but his racecraft it can be very, very good as well. I mean, he's a top fella, and yeah, he's good when it comes to a bit of racing. He knows his stuff, let's put it that way. But also, a few other people that know their stuff are the three guys that are going to be sat on our podium today. Mr. Hamilton 44, Simo 911, and coming to get you 85, 95. Depends how old we want to make him. 75? I don't know. That may be going a little bit too far. So in a few moments we'll get the podium interviews underway, and if anyone's got any questions that they would like us to ask the podium sitters, feel free to pop the comment on the YouTube chat, and if we can, we'll get those questions to the drivers, because I believe From a Racing GP has joined us in the commentary box now after sitting in the F1 paddock club with a little bit of champagne, showing off the scar on his arm, saying I'm an F1 driver, don't you know, but keeping an eye on YouTube as well. So GP, how was the race from your view actually?
Come back to me in just literally 2 seconds, because I've just received an important message from one of the drivers, and it wouldn't be fair to me broadcast what that message is.
Okay, no problem. While we wait for the drivers to come and join us then. But yeah, I mean, what a race. As we'll quickly mention as well, obviously it is a provisional result. The drivers obviously get the opportunity to get the footage of their races uploaded, report any incidents, and then it's a bit of time for those to get looked at, dealt with, and then also the drivers have the opportunity of, if they want to, check in other drivers' footage to make sure that they're not doing anything untoward. And once that's dealt with, then the official results will get posted on to Facebook. So, James, who are we waiting for to join us in
We're
the
waiting for
commentary
Simo
box?
911 and Mr. Hamilton. Coming to get you, has made his way into the podium.
Okay, so as we wait then for Simo and Mr. Hamilton 44, and I tell you, I've got a really good question that I actually want to ask Coming to Get You, so I might sneak it in while we're waiting for the other two. Coming to Get You, in the reserve races last week, I said, oh, one stop's doable, isn't it? You said no, they just did a one stop and won. Is a one stop possible?
It is now, and I've got some homework to do, so I'll be looking at their footage.
Yeah, well, I thought it might be on your mind a little bit, but we'll come to you proper in a few moments' time. We'll just wait for Mr. Hamilton 44 and Simo to come and join us. So, Tony, I'm just wondering what your overall thoughts were for the race there.
Well, it was a very entertaining race, from my opinion. A lot of action going on, and it was pretty clean racing. A little bit sad we didn't get extreme weather, but maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. Next time being tomorrow. I'd also apologies to the viewers for not catching the start of the race. It is so frustrating to me when we're not able to do that. And I'll leave my comments about that there. So I believe we're just waiting for Simo 911 to come and join us now.
Mr. Hamilton 44 made his way into the commentary box, so there we go, race leader. Should we start the questions going as we wait for Simo?
I guess we can do. So we're still waiting for Simo to join us. So yeah, we'll crack on with Mr. Hamilton 44. Another race victory for you. However, by the end of qualifying, it looked like it wasn't going to be easy. RMS Maranello hasn't been on the grid for a while, but he was in as a reserve driver today. So was it of any concern when you saw him pop himself into pole position and starting just ahead of yourself and Simo?
No, I wasn't too worried. I knew I had the race pace to try and win the race. Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be a night of short answers, so we'll see how this is going to go. Okay, on to the race then. I mean, the opening stint, it was a good, tough battle between yourself and RMS Maranello, but the medium compound tyre just looked superior around this track. So for you, was it medium tyre because of the strategy, or medium tyre because it's the better tyre?
Both of them, actually. It was a better tire, and I had to use the medium to make a one-stop strategy work.
Did you do a comparison between one-stop and two-stop?
No.
No. So it was just a case of, I reckon I can do the one-stop, that's what I'm going to go for.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Once the first round of pit stops were done, you were able to open up a little bit of a gap, and there was a fantastic battle going on behind you, and that just sort of helped you more and more. But what's perhaps more satisfying, taking the win, or taking the win and knowing that your championship rival was not in the top 5, or at least top 4?
Of course the win is important, but the main thing is to finish ahead of Stocky, that's for sure.
Well, you could have slowed down a bit and had a bit of a fight with him and just stayed about a second and a half in front of him and really annoyed him all day long, but it'd give us something interesting to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I prefer him at the front instead.
That's a good answer. I like that. I like it, and I think Stocky would agree with you. Okay, I'm going to hand over to my co-commentators, see if they've got any questions for you. So
just before you do,
go on.
Just before you do, can we just make sure that Simo's got another invite? So just ask for one.
Yeah, it's been sent about 4, but I'll send him another one.
Okay, just let him know then that he needs to receive the invite from FRRJS. He might be looking at it from myself or DP.
Yeah,
okay.
He does need
to... Sorry, carry on.
Okay, James, Tony, have you got any questions for Mr. Hamilton, 44?
Mr. Hamilton, mate, what a blistering drive there. You had RMS Maranello defending like crazy in the opening stint of the race. What were your thoughts when you were coming up behind him and he just kept... pulling one out of the bag and keeping you behind?
I was a bit cautious fighting Maranello because I knew my strategy was going to be better than his, and I didn't want to risk anything fighting him. So I was just really cautious when I made the move. I knew I had to be quite far in front to make it stick. And not getting into trouble with him.
Right. Any other questions from anybody else?
Tony?
No, I don't have one, sorry.
Okay, don't go anywhere, Mr. Hamilton 44. We may have some questions for you from YouTube. I see that Simo has now joined us in the commentary box as well, so nice timing on that one. So Simo, obviously we've already had a little bit of a chat with Mr. Hamilton 44. I believe it was second place on the grid for you today in qualifying. I'll ask you a similar question I asked Mr. Hamilton. Was it a bit of a surprise seeing RMS Maranello up there on pole position, albeit on the softer compound tyre?
No, I think it was quite a good job to make to the front row with the mediums. I thought that people go with the softs because it's so difficult to make the one-stop race. I had to save my tires whole race, so it's not very fun.
Well, in Singapore, we saw you get your strategy absolutely spot on. I mentioned it a few times through the broadcast that your strategy is what helped you towards the win in Singapore, and I thought you'd potentially be able to do similar today. I'm guessing that the one stop for yourself was very touch and go then on the tyre wear.
Yeah, I think that was the best strategy, but Mr. Hamilton was making a better job. I think I lost most of the time in the first stint, so I had to drive a bit faster in the second, so my tires went a bit.
I was gonna say in the last few laps, I think it looked like you lost about 3 seconds in the course of like 1 or 2 laps to Mr. Hamilton 44. I mean, was there any part of while you were doing those sort of last few laps, was any part of you thinking, I should have done a two-stop?
No, about 6 laps from the end, I just went to the lane and made sure I didn't get a puncture, so I could have gone a little faster, but I think there was no point because people were so far behind.
Okay. I'm going to hand over to my co-commentators. Tony, any questions for Simo? I believe similar nationalities, I believe. I probably got that very wrong. I'm going to offend the both of you. I'm sure you got some questions for him, Tony.
Well, no, I don't have any questions. But, sorry, I'm so tired. But well done, Simo. Great race.
He finished it off well. Come on then, James.
I'm going to say, Simo, what happened at the start? Such a good qualifying session, and unfortunately, because we couldn't get on board with it, we didn't want to bring out a yellow flag situation. We didn't happen to see what kicked off at the start, so can you talk us through them first 4 corners? If you can remember.
I don't remember exactly, but I think I lost place for Mr. Hamilton in the 3rd corner, I think. And then I don't know what happened there. So I think Mone went past me because I was side by side in the 4th corner. So he got me in the, I think, in the 6th or something. So I lost a bit time there because that one driver was with a soft tire. So Mr. Hamilton got very far in the beginning. I think our pace was a bit similar, but I lost in the fight in the start.
Right, and also, is there anything throughout that race that you feel you could have done slightly better? Anything to do with maybe strategy or just individual moments where you thought you should have done something slightly different?
I think the strategy was just the right one, but I didn't have any online test, so maybe if I had some test in the online race, so it would have been a bit better. The tire wear is a bit off in the quick race, so I didn't have any real practice.
Right. Well done.
Oh, very well done indeed. Don't go anywhere just yet, Simo. We'll come back to you, I'm sure, in a few moments' time. We'll just move on to our 3rd place sitter, coming to get you at 85. And for any of the viewers that were watching before Mr. Hamilton 44 and Simo joined us, and got his thoughts on the 2-stop versus the 1-stop. But I'll tell you what, coming to get you, it was an interesting race, looking sort of in and around you for most of that. The first stint was frantic, busy, battles all the way. So was the 2nd stint, and almost the 3rd stint as well. But from your own perspective, what are you taking away from the race? Good result, frustrated result, could have done more, got lucky? What sort of way are we looking at?
It's a good result considering. Just too many battles, man, going on. And then once Simo and Hamilton got clear on a 2-stop, I had to be ahead of them. So I know I wasn't racing him, I was racing RMS, but frantic's not the word, man. You didn't know where to look. Left, right, wing mirrors, cars. It's like a train, man. You didn't know whether to attack or defend, but it was just put pressure on and try and make cars make mistakes. But yeah, it's a cracking race. I loved it.
Okay.
I've got give a quick shout to Mornay. I don't know what happened between us, but my car got sucked to the right when we touched. So have a look at my footage, fella, and see what you think of it.
Interesting you mentioned that, and nice that you did, because I was about to grill you on that as well. You've stolen my thunder on that one. But yeah, okay, fair enough. Can't argue with that one. Sometimes as a driver you don't know exactly what happened until you go back and have a look at it. From yourself though, I mean, we've seen you get pole position, I think it was in Monza. I could be wrong, I think it was Monza. You've been really showing some pace lately. Is there anything that's in your mind as, okay, this is what I need to work on to be able to up my game a little more and fight for those victories?
To be fair, off today's pace, I think I had a nice little battle with Simo, obviously on the one stop, but we were surrounded by cars when we were scrapping, so until we got a break. But no, if I'm honest, it's just strategy. These two caught me out today, so I'm going to go away, do some own work, and I just believe it's figuring out how to damn well do these one stops, and I'll be up there with these two, giving it a bit of a scrap room. So that's the plan.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to hand over to my co-commentators, see if they've got any questions for you. So, guys, coming to get you, what have you got for him?
Well, coming to get you. I said throughout that race, could we see the Indian national anthem playing on the top
No,
step,
you didn't. No, you didn't. You said, will we see the British national anthem?
Well, it is a bit of a conundrum, as we will never know, I don't think, unless Force India pull a blinder in the future. But we could have heard either the Indian national anthem or the British national anthem, but it just seemed to me like them front two were just slipping out of your grasp. But do you think there could have been anything that you'd have changed in order to get up to maybe even P1? I mean, Mr. Hamilton 44's just his overall race craft this season has just been absolutely crazy in his pace. Is there anything that you think you can throw at him in these final few races of the season?
A Formula One car and put him in the wall. No, he's cracking this season. You know, if he wins a championship this year, fair play to him, because the guy's missed a few races as well, which I think's a valid point to put in as well. So he hasn't been here and still leading now. So I wish he'd bugger off. But, no, if I'm honest, it's just general strategy, but I don't know if you caught it in qualifying. I went for a late gas run on the softs because I was watching myself drop down the list, and I cut the hairpin, so I had to abandon the lap when I was 4/10 up because I didn't want to be behind the likes of RMS on a comeback Mornay thinking they're going to be corks in the bottle, but RMS is like he's not been away.
Yeah. He was impressive out there today. And I do see that we've lost Simo from the commentary box for the moment. We'll see if we can get him to come back in, because we can't get him stealing away from the question of the day, which I will give out in a moment. Okay, so well done to coming to get you there, taking provisional third place. Obviously, Mr. Hamilton 44 taking pole and Simo, not pole, taking first, and Simo second. I'm going to give a quick shout out for question of the day, so if people want to sort of get their answers in, they can, but we won't get the drivers' answers until after we've seen if there's any YouTube questions for them. So I'm just giving you a chance, guys, to have a little bit of a think about the answer for this one. And it was a question that was given to me, and it's a dead simple one. How many wheels are there on an F1 car? So have a think about that one for a little while, and if you're watching and want to have a guess at the answer of that, feel free to put your guess on the YouTube chat. I'm just going to quickly hand over to Front Row Racing GP. Have we got any questions for our podium sitters?
Well, looking at what we've got on YouTube, at FRR, this says, please say well done to Mads from me personally. That's from Stocky, so it's not really a question. And looking down the list, it just tends to be drivers communicating between themselves, to be honest with you, so there's no direct questions. Well, there was one for Simo, but Simo's not here, and he covered it.
Well, I tell you what,
anyway,
I was going to say, you could ask him, we could get Tony to answer it for him.
Well, what I would say, I'm going to point out a couple of things that was I'd noted myself during the race and also in qualifying, just to clarify a couple of things. So I'll just go through this very quickly. You noticed that Surtac started 17th, and he also qualified on the intermediates, a bit like GP does sometimes.
Yep.
He was serving his qualifying ban.
Yeah, I thought it might have been. I just didn't want to mention anything at the time in case I was wrong. So fair play to him for remembering and sorting that out.
Yeah, but I want to say that if it was up to me, that's where my vote would possibly go for driver of the day, for coming from the back of the grid, getting up into the points from there in a very difficult race. So did very well to do that. Having a look at my notes, what else have I got into my Ted's notebook? Mornay, that was it. I was going to write. I wrote something about Mornay. This is the circuit he very nearly got his first front row racing win at.
Yeah.
But he got disconnected on the last lap.
Yeah, that's right.
So I kind of favoured him for around here, and it was unfortunate to see what happened during the race.
Well, actually, touching on that, I just want to come to Coming to Get You at the moment. Coming to Get You, Mornay was on the soft tyre at the start, and you and Simo were behind him. Obviously, there was a bit of a coming together with you, but where do you think you and he would have finished at the end of the race had he not have had his problems? Behind you, obviously, but...
Yeah, no, I think myself, given how the race went without that, I think I had the pace to get past him, so did RMS. So I'd give the guy credit on a solid 5th place if that didn't happen. So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, back to you, GP.
Just a couple of questions to Mads and Coming to Get You from myself. And that is, Mads, what was it that convinced you to do the one-stop strategy? Because I joked about it kind of previously for this circuit, but I always thought it was out of the question. So Mads, one-stop, where did that come from?
I had a bit of practice earlier today with my teammate, and after the first stint on the medium tire, I thought it was possible to do a one-stop, and it was a bit of a risk because I hadn't done a full one-stop strategy. But as I got through the race, I discovered that the hot tire managed to keep together quite nicely, and it wasn't a problem to get it to the end.
Yeah. So you weren't too worried about punches then? Or was it just mainly that first stint, making sure you didn't get a punch on that first stint?
Yeah, that was the main thing. Do not get a punch on the medium tire.
And question for Coming to Get You, why didn't you go for the one-stop?
Because it's not possible. He covered this last week. It's not possible.
It's not possible in my view, but after this race it will be. I'm watching Mads. No, it was more the weather factor, if I'm honest, because Malaysia's known to throw in a shower somewhere in a race, so I thought play the 2-stop, play it safe, and if it would have turned wet, which it didn't this time round, I would have initially been on the 1-stop with the slick tyres going to winters or whatever would have happened, so playing safe.
Okay. DP, over to you for question of the day.
Okay. I just want to touch on, I mean, playing safe, some may say, is not the best way to do it, but it did get you 3rd place, so you can't really argue too much about that one. Okay, so question of the day. Dead simple one. How many wheels are there on an F1 car? So, Mr. Hamilton 44, would you like to give us your guess on that one?
Is it a trick question?
Would I do such a thing?
Yeah.
Let's see. That's 10.
10. I don't know, what is it with people thinking that there's more than 4? I don't know, 10. Okay, so Coming to Get You, what about yourself?
I don't know, I'll say 5, man. It's 5.
Okay.
DP, I'm just going to say, on YouTube, we've got a majority of the guesses are 5. But then someone said 7, and then someone's put, how can it be 7? So, is there anyone that's not had a guess yet?
I haven't. Tony and James have. James said 5, then changed it to 9. Tony said 40. which, you know what? Actually isn't that bad of a guess. Because, as I said earlier on, it's not a question I've come up with, it's a question I've been given. And I've been given a bit of an answer, but the answer is also a little bit vague. So, the answer is 48, at least. And if you want to know what they are, Well, let's see. You got the brake wheel cylinder, otherwise known as slave cylinders. There's 4 of them. You got wheel nuts times 4. You got a steering wheel. You got a flywheel on the ears, a flywheel on the clutch. You got wheel rims. There's 4 of those. You got wheel bearings. There's 4 of them. You got wheel weights as well, and there's 4 of those. And then you've got wheel tethers, and there's 8 of them. You got a wheelbase. There's only 1 of those, and you've also got a rear wheel drive. There's 1 of them. You got hubs. Wheel hubs, there's 4 of those. You got wheel locks, left and right. I don't even know what that one is. You got wheel lug nuts 4 and wheel covers 4. So there you go. Not my question, but I thought it was pretty good anyway. But James, your guesses of 5 and 9 were terrible. Tony, yours was pretty good on 40.
But I think what's terrible is a wheelbase. That isn't a wheel. That's just the distance between the front wheels and the back wheels.
It could have been worse because the person that gave me the question did say you could have it as 49, a wheelie good driver. No, I drew the line at that one. But
what was technically his answer?
48.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
You can't say anything, Mr. Butterfruit Knife.
and people were laughing when I said 40, and I was the closest. So
yeah.
See, Tony's been playing this game for far too long now. But there we go. Anyway, time to start bringing the show to an end for tonight. Once again, apologies for missing the lights go out, but not a lot we can do about that one, unfortunately. Hopefully F1 2017 will be slightly different when it comes to that kind of thing. But anyway, that will be all from us tonight. Next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel is tomorrow, where the World Series drivers will be coming back here to the Malaysia circuit for their round 16. And if I'm right, Tony, isn't there something on YouTube that people could watch in reference to that race tomorrow?
Oh yes, they are. It's a special one. You should watch it if you haven't already.
And if anyone doesn't know what I'm on about there, check out the Front Row Racing YouTube channel, the video that Eraser21 created for the World Series drivers for tomorrow. And I'm waffling on as much as I can to see how often James goes, because I can hear that so loudly in my ears at the moment. But anyway, yeah, come and join us tomorrow from about 7:25 p.m. for the Front Row Racing World Series, where, again, the title fight is really, really on in the World Series. Plenty of battles throughout that grid as well to make things interesting towards the end of the season. And
we can hear happy 10th year in the commentating box. Tune in to find out.
I've not even thought about that. Yeah, that'll be interesting tomorrow. We'll see how 10th year is on that one tomorrow. And then next up on the YouTube channel will be on Sunday for round 6, I think it is, of the DTMs. And where are we from this weekend, James? Silverstone, I believe?
Silverstone GP, yeah, that'll be a cracker, I think.
Okay, hopefully it will be. Anyway, that's about all from us here from Front Row Racing tonight. That's been the Front Row Racing World Championship Round 16 from Malaysia. It is a provisional result only, and the results will be confirmed a week on Saturday on the Front Row Racing Facebook page. So make sure you come and check it out. If you do want to get involved on F1 2016 or Project Cars, come and find the Facebook page and drop us a message. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all again soon. See you later.